The mayor of the capital, Vitaly Klitschko, addressed the citizens with a call to stock up on food, water, and medicine, and, if possible, to leave Kyiv for areas where there are alternative sources of power and heat. After all, the situation in Kyiv remains difficult, and Russia may attack critical infrastructure again. Meanwhile, a little less than 2,000 apartment buildings in the capital remain without heat. The most difficult situation is on the left bank as well as in the Pechursk district. While efforts are being made to supply heat to the buildings, emergency crews are promptly eliminating the consequences of water that was not drained from the heating system.
This apartment building on the left bank of the capital, it's already the 15th day. People aren't living, they're just surviving. It all started before the massive shelling on January 9th. 3 entrances, 16 floors, which is almost 400 apartments, very rarely received electricity.
And our pumps couldn't handle it. We're standing in the first entrance, where the situation is most critical, and the pumps are in the third entrance. And during the time when the power was on, they didn't have enough time to push the heating through to our entrance.
So when Russia hit the thermal power plant 2 weeks ago, the heat disappeared completely. And the already cold pipes in this entrance froze almost instantly.
We tried to drain them, but then a hard frost hit, and that was it. And our entire riser froze solid.
All the pipes froze, and on the technical floors, it even reached the apartments.
A radiator burst, it started leaking, and it was a Sunday. There was no one we could call, but somehow we coordinated. They came and shut off the riser. This one is ours. Then everyone's radiators started bursting.
Residents have already counted ruptures in almost 20 homes, but there are still properties that haven't been fully inspected because the owners are absent and there's no access. And then on Tuesday, the blast wave blew out the windows in the building, and after that, a pipe burst somewhere inside the walls. The pipe in the neighboring entrance. The water that flowed down the facade just froze like that.
From the 11th floor or something like that. It was flooding everything. And yesterday, when it thawed a little, it was just a solid sheet of ice.
All right, Volodya's leading us into the entrance, where it actually feels colder than outside.
We don't take off our coats at all. I actually like it this way.
Mrs. Helena is 79, and on her thermometer?
It's just 1 degree above zero right now. That's the warmest room in the apartment. It's impossible. Let me tell you, it's just impossible.
The woman is still cleaning up the remaining glass from the shattered windows and trying to warm up the few radiators that are still working.
I come here every single day, and all day long I heat up the water and carefully put out these bottles so that at the very least they can be a little bit warm.
All this time, there's only 1 emergency crew working in the building. That's 3 or 4 people, but that's not enough resources for such a large scale. Realizing they had no other choice, the residents started to help.
It is a very large, shaggy yak. These industrial pipes are essential components designed for the efficient transportation of various liquids and gases throughout the entire facility.
And the stairwell have frozen. Right now, the main work on the utilities is happening on the technical floor. There, utility workers from Rivne are on the job.
We've been heating it up for a couple of days now, the supply pipeline. Now we'll start heating the return pipeline from the very bottom. We'll go down to the technical floor, remove the ice, and then go up through the apartments, trying to help if people can't do it themselves. We'll replace their radiators, or just temporarily cap them off, and
only after a full inspection of all the apartments in this entrance can the heating be turned on. But when that will happen is still unknown.
Yesterday in Rivne, they told us that we could achieve some results if 50 people worked on our building.
Currently, 165 repair crews are helping to restore heat supply in Kyiv. Specialists from the regions have been brought in, and for a week now, Ukrzaliznytsia crews has been working in the city. In the Solyansky district alone, for 2 weeks, 25 buildings have had frozen pipes because the system was not drained in time. Each building takes the railway workers several days to fix.
We've been here for 4 days. We've thawed out 4 buildings, and today we're working on the 5th. And before this, we were in Tyraniki. We thawed out 20 buildings there.
If there were a constant power supply, specialists say it would be faster and easier. They also have to haul generators to each site.
To power welding machines and lighting. The elevators don't work, there's no electricity, and it's a 16-story building. Everything has to be carried by hand because the technical floor is at the top.
After 8 hours of work, the railway workers from the south finally come down from the roof of the 5-story building, and they bring good news.
We've already warmed it up, started it, the pipe is already warm already.
It's steaming. The guys are from Odessa, by the way. I looked closely. They didn't say anything, but they're from Odessa. They came here to service the Odessa Railway.
And these are specialists from Kyiv and Zaporizhia. They'll be staying in this 2-story building in Solyansky for more than a day. 7 radiator bursts in 8 apartments.
As of today, we're removing all unnecessary radiators that have burst. We'll be installing valves, shutting off the system so it doesn't leak, thawing the riser pipes, and then supplying the heat carrier.
Complicating matters, a roof pipe also burst. Undrained water flooded apartments.
Who is to blame? The housing maintenance office? The boiler house manager? In other words, they treated people shamelessly.
The pensioner's friend shows the walls, which are even wetter. It's impossible to dry them without electricity. But there's still the question of whether there will be a short circuit when the power finally comes back on.
How am I supposed to put his bowl there? The old sofa was there, and now it drips right onto your head. Look at the walls. They're soaked, completely wet. Just look at these walls. Look at the state of them. That's it. Oh, yes, now the place needs repairs. But how am I supposed to pay for it? A pensioner doing repairs?
Experts say they can thaw the buildings without waiting for spring. For now, the situation is hampered by a lack of personnel, limited apartment access, and ongoing strikes. Currently, a little less than 2,000 buildings in the capital are without heat. Most of them aren't emergency cases. They're simply waiting for the supply of heat carrier to be restored.